Since Spacies.
G'day invaders, welcome to Since Spacies, and this is episode 7 of the Since Spacies Show, and I am joined by two awesome dudes. I've got here Retrokaiser. How you doing, matey?
Pretty good. Just started streaming again. I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, I was watching
Super Kids Racing.
Oh no, I was going to refer not to that. I'm trying to forget that one.
I am too.
No, Sea of Thieves. Yeah, that's the one. I was going to Skies of Thieves or whatever. No Man's Thieves. And we've also got Tim. How you doing there, Tim?
Sir, hello. Thank you for having me. And I've got my same clothes on as my profile. Just so you don't get confused, guys, alright?
Consistency, everybody.
And for those who don't know, Tim is a former Sega Hotliner and colleague and buddy of mine. And yeah, you can see quite an extensive little collection you got back there.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's slowly getting there. But no, I just go out to op shops and find what I can find. I rarely buy anything on eBay. Yeah, never go on eBay. Don't pay too much. Oh, very good. Hey, very good.
Not random at all. No.
It's not a chicken or a cow.
Everyone from overseas is like, what was that? Anyway, we're not here to talk about Hey Saturday. Wow. How did it suddenly
spiral off?
So, I'm going to just start off with, well, we've already got your questions about your first game ever, etc., etc. So, Sam, I'm just going to find out, what are you currently playing besides Kids Racing?
Super Kids Racing.
That
game's on sale for a few bucks now if you want to get some easy trophies.
I can think of better things you can do with your life.
Unfortunately, when it comes to shit streaks in video games, it's only getting worse because I'm currently playing Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 for a project that I'm doing with Cameron.
2006.
Yeah, it's not a good game.
How's your life going at the moment?
Well, I feel like that I'm spiraling into a sea of madness. I'd much rather hit my head with a solid steel hammer than play Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 again, but unfortunately, I gotta do it.
Do you know what, though, right? As much as we like to knock 2006 Sonic, the soundtrack is awesome.
It's amazing!
And it's like, why couldn't the rest of the game... There's bits in it that you think, if this game wasn't broken, this would work. This is actually... Yeah.
They got rid of all the Sonic investigation levels because it feels like a detective game half the time. Go talk to this, go talk to them. Oh, they're over there. Go to the location. It's like Detective Sonic Chew here.
There was a lot of in-house fighting during the production of that game. From what I've read. And basically it was a lot of egos on the line, which is... kind of sad. That's a pretty much Sega in a nutshell, really. A lot of in-house fighting. But when they get it right, they do knock it out of the park. But yeah, Tim, what do you...
Yes.
In amongst all that stuff there, Enduro Racer, you got Enduro Racer up there on Atari?
Oh, yes, I've got... On
Atari. Wasn't it?
Sega, that's...
No, hang on. What was Enduro? There was Enduro on Atari.
Oh, yes. Have I got that there? I forgot it.
I don't think you have.
No,
I
did.
But you have got. I've just spotted the best Atari game of all time. Can you guess what I'm thinking of?
Are you talking about Hero?
Yes.
yes.
Love that game.
What if I said E.T.?
I would probably kick you from the show right now. It's a
very rare game.
Oh yeah, I keep it on record that that's the only game that I've ever thrown against a wall in frustration ever. I've ripped it out of a still beating Atari and flung it, and it wasn't even my copy.
My wife Michelle's not even a gamer. But she remembers as a kid because her parents went in and bought a 2600 and they bought E.T. And even that game scars her mind because it was absolutely shite. But she knows that game. She doesn't know any other game other than E.T., which happens to be the worst game. So, yeah. No, what am I playing? So, I've been mainly... There's no one particular game. I've mainly been playing the Master System games, as you can see up here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I've been collecting a lot lately.
Same. I've been building up my collection a bit too.
And I've mentioned before on my post that I've been trying to get my hands on the original collection that I had. And sadly, one of those games is Power Strike.
Yeah. I've got it. I haven't got 2 though. Power Strike 2 is actually, I think, more expensive than 1.
Yes, 2 is, but I got it from my contact at Sega in America, Judy, and she sent it over one time. I'm like, how fucking lucky am I? So, yeah, and it was the excuse me, the black and white cover too. Yeah. So it may be still up at home. I'm not sure, but anyway, getting back to the original question, I'm mainly playing just random Master System games. I've been playing Ghost House a lot.
I watched you streaming that on Periscope.
Yeah.
Not Twitch like everyone else. You got to be different.
Well, I don't have a good enough camera for it. I'm only using my XR at the moment for this podcast, so I don't have the full setup. But one day I might. I don't know. So,
do you have any of the silver cartridge Master System games yet?
No,
I don't. I try to avoid them.
Did you see my post from about a month ago? So, my wife's uncle, his son was having his birthday, and we went around to see the family and that, and. The guy, Peter, that's Michelle's uncle. He goes, you wanted to because I asked him earlier on, you want to see what I've got for the Master System? I go, yeah, okay. So he takes me out to this room, and it's up the back of the cupboard. He says, pull it out and see what you can find there, see what interests you on that. And so he walks away, and as I'm pulling out each game, the game became better, rarer, and more expensive. So I pulled out about, I think from memory, it was about 10 or 12 games, and I ended up with Sonic Spinball silver cartridge, Mortal Kombat 2 silver cartridge. But the scariest one was this one.
I remember playing that as a kid.
And
is that from HES?
Yes, and it's complete. And he just had it sitting there. It's in mint condition. And,
what are the games on that? Let's go through it.
Okay.
You got Power Block. Wow. Adventure Kid. That's just basically Wonder Boy. Twin Mouse and Cave Dude.
Yeah. So
hang on one moment. You keep going.
Yeah. So I couldn't believe what he had there. It was just amazing. So
I've got something very similar to that. I was over at Cameron's house, Cam Hans, the guy that does the outro music to my channel, and he had this and he gave it to me. And it's back to front. I'm so sorry for when you're watching this video back, but basically it's Fun Blaster Pack, and it's got Pipe Mania, Twin Eagle, Metal Fighter, and Little Red Hood. Now, this is actually the only NES game I own. I don't have any NES titles except this weird thing. And you need another NES game to run it.
That's right. Yeah,
the bypass chip.
I've got two. I've got two up there.
Wow. Okay.
You're flashing up our Hez collection.
Oh, hang on. What have you got? A Furlough.
Yeah,
what an interesting cover. And the HES dongle. They actually used the word dongle back then. Okay.
Whoop. There we go.
Sorry, guys. This has turned into a show and tell, but you know.
Okay.
Places too. Just at a random Vinny's for $2.
And just out of like a side note, HES stands for Home Entertainment Supplies, I think it was, or Home Entertainment Services.
What?
And I actually, where is it? Yeah, supplies. Okay, I was right the first time around. I used to speak to the owner, the CEO of that on a daily basis when I was working at the Gamesman, because he was the original Gamesman.
Oh, yes.
And then he split and left the Gamesman and went on to form HES. So, yeah.
Okay.
And he was distributing Atari 2600 and Atari Lynx games.
Yeah.
Right up until, just about 5 or so years ago, actually. You could still buy a brand new Atari Lynx game from about 5 years back. They're all gone now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was it's just such an interesting story about how they set up as a game shop, and then he split off to be a distributor instead.
Well, that's this one. Well, I got that one.
So you got Pac-Man, Sidewinder, Duck. What? What's that one?
Duck Maze.
Duck Maze, right? And Othello.
Othello, and then I got the Sidewinder on its own.
Oh, wasn't there one that featured the Adventures of Dizzy as well? Was that a different company?
There was one, but it was a similar thing. HES just did their own thing with this, but it's the same technology.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Yeah, so I was just blown away with what he had, and he had no idea what things
what he was
were
sitting
worth.
on.
So I was explaining to him, all right, this is what you've got. I'm showing him the sold prices on eBay with what they've got. It's like, oh, okay. So it's up to you. You sell them if you want to, or just
give them to me.
He goes, give them to me. Yeah. No, I would never do that. So he's a really good bloke. So so I had a guy that was interested, and I sent off a message to him. So just see if he wants to let go of them. He doesn't need to. I mean, they're all here. So awesome. So Master System is what I'm playing at the moment.
And okay. Well, I will ask you, what's your favourite Master System game?
It has to be Power Strike, but I can't play it.
Because you don't have it.
Yeah, I don't have it. Yeah. I mean, I've got the emulator for it, but I just like.
Well, here's a question for you.
Yeah,
have you played Musha Released on the Mega Drive?
Well, I probably did back when we were working at Sega.
No, it never came out to Australia.
Really?
No, never officially. That's probably
Did
why.
We have a Musha?
No. Oh, that was on Mega CD.
Ah, okay. So
I think that one came out officially.
Answer is no.
And it's probably going to stay no, because that cartridge is like worth stupid amount of money, $400. It's like one of the rarest Mega Drive games you can get. I've had 2 occasions where I could have got it, and one of them was cheap, one of them not so cheap. Yeah. It's hard to spot in the wild, but I have seen it in the wild. Wow. But it's going to be on the Japanese Mega Drive Mini. So there you go. And it's going to be hard to work out which version of the Mega Drive Mini should you get. The local one, or would it be... they haven't announced that game's coming out or not. I got a feeling that it's not going to be on the Western version, which is going to suck. But yeah, it might be worth buying too. I don't know.
I'll have to watch some playthroughs on it and get a vibe for it. But I think Power Strike would be my favorite.
All right, now let's get stuck into the questions, and we have got our first question from the Bit Vault. Bit Vault, take it away.
Hey there guys, John here from the Bit Vault, and I have a question for you guys. I've been wondering this for a little while. Homebrews, this is a homebrew for the NES, have been out for a long time. People have been making games unofficially for, I don't know, years at this point. But there's a new movement, I'm not sure if you guys are aware of it, to make homebrew making accessible to a lot of people. If you guys haven't heard about something called NES Maker, it's basically like a graphical interface that lets you make pretty much NES games that will play on an actual NES. It's pretty cool. Reason why I know about this is because they just had their Bite Off, which is their first competition for basically users with no experience to make a game from scratch using the software. So I guess my question is, with stuff like this happening and these games actually being pretty good, is there a new market that's emerging for people to actually make their own games for these old systems, and have other people play them, and just thought it was worth talking about.
All right, thanks for that, the Bit Vault. So that's a bit of an interesting one. When I think of do-it-yourself kits and make your own game, I think of there was an RPG, make your own RPG. I think they're up to 3 or 4 of that now. And also do-it-yourself pinball simulator. Yes. That was a big one. I can't think of many other do-it-yourself type games. I don't think there is a big market for it. It's like super niche.
Yeah.
Super niche. No one's got the patience for it. But I mean, what do you guys think, Tim?
No market for it, because look, people who make games are really good at making games, and it's just not one person putting the game together. Doing it yourself, I just can't be asked doing that sort of stuff. I'd rather play games, and then if you do make a good version of your own game, then
no one's going to see it.
No one's going to see it. And even if they do, what does it actually prove, and what do you hope to achieve? So,
I think that
a few likes,
I think it'll be interesting to do a game. I mean, God, man, that's a lot of commitment. But if you did make your own game, say a role-play game featuring, I don't know, your favorite YouTubers or something like that. Hang on, what's he flashing up? You always do this. RPG Maker Fest. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you were to make your own roleplay game featuring YouTubers or someone like celebrities, and then give it to a YouTuber to feature on a stream or something, but that's just shiz and giggles, that's not really gonna make money.
It definitely doesn't. As someone who's made a RPG Maker game based on oneself, I know that they don't make money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a lot of time and commitment to go around naming everything, putting the rooms together, and all the art design and whatnot, and then no one plays it.
Yeah. And you think about it, we've been in the industry for a long time. How many people have you come across and said, geez, I really wish I could make my own game? No one. I've never come across one person to do it. So, nah.
Although Christian Whitehead, he kind of did that.
Oh, did he?
Christian Whitehead for the Sonic Mania.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. Well, he did, but look, I mean,
that's a rare one-off. Yeah,
1 in a million. And hats off to him for doing it. But I don't think anyone's got the time or patience. We just want to play games, not make it.
It's and also me in particular. I don't even have enough time half the time to play games. I'm spending half my time making my own content. And trying to watch other content as well in amongst and working. That's the number one time sap for me. So to take myself away from playing games and watching YouTube videos to actually make my own game, no one ain't got time for that.
That is why you build up a big fan base and get them to do the work for you.
Like PewDiePie. Yeah.
Angry video game nerd.
Yeah.
Has he got a game?
He's got several games based on him. He's got 2 that are like Mega Man clones, and he's got a whole bunch of fan games based on him. He's actually made a video on that.
On games based on him.
Yeah.
That'd be so, like, the ego would just be, wow. Well, I hope that kind of answered your question there, but, I mean, I would love to have a lifetime to spare to just make games.
And profit from it.
Yeah, but, again, I ain't got time for that, so it's just a shame that we just have to be thankful for the dedicated few that do make the effort and time to put games together for us to enjoy, and I think that a lot of...
welcome.
Well, when have you made a game?
Years ago, I told you, I made one based upon myself.
Which one person played?
There's actually a speed run based on it too.
Alright,
okay. I made a speed run on my video game. It's just called Retrokaiser the Game, Episode 0.
Okay, so we're going to go on to the second question. This one is from old mate, the Top Loader. Top Loader, take it away.
So, for me personally, I think that this day and age, shooters are the main genre within games that everyone seems to go to the most on the main popularity of gamers right now. But when I was growing up, obviously it was 2D platformers. You even got your Time Crisis and Virtual Cop games that really came into popularity at some point in their life. Daytona, Sega Rally, you get where I'm going with this, right? When there was a really good game that came out, that genre for that period of time was actually the most popular genre at that time. Street Fighter 2 is a great example of that. And even Tetris on the Game Boy. Everyone went Tetris mad when that game came out. Street Fighter 2 was on a whole nother level. Super Mario was also on its own level as well. You know, no pun intended. Well, actually, no, sorry, what? There is this pun intended, and I just said it. Hope you got it. Hope you're listening to what I was saying. No, I'm not crazy. I'm not on drugs. And if I was, I would be on the good ones, as you can see right now. So, either way... Oh, sorry, I had to catch a breath right there. So, anyway, my actual question is... What genre of game would you love to see have a huge resurgence that it was that popular again, that everybody was playing it again? I would love to see 2D I would love to see 2D platforming right on back on top right now. Don't you wish that there was more people like me who would love to see that type of game around again? I know I would. And I wish I was there right now, guys, but you know what, I'm here. I'm in the spirit, I'm here. I'm helping you out in some way. I'm not actually there to lift up the show, but I am now lifting it. I'm elevating the show right now to help you out. I'm here for you to help you all out. You can fake me later. It's okay. I'll be waiting for the applause.
Right. It took you a minute 40 to, or whatever it was to reach that. And you know what? I actually had to watch his question 3 or 4 times to work out what the question actually was. And in case you didn't get it, he wants to know what gaming genre would you like to see make a comeback? See, that wasn't that hard.
Was there actually a question in that?
Well, he pointed out, what was it, that Daytona was a big thing, and that made racing genres big at the time. Tetris and Super Mario Brothers, etc., all revolutionized their genres at the time. So, yeah, what genre would you like? I have an answer, but I'll leave you guys to go first. So, Sam, what about you?
Well, with all the games I play, I have no idea that a lot of them are out of fashion. So I'm very clueless to what's out of fashion or not.
It's hard to know what's out of fashion if you're not keeping up with what is in.
Yeah, that's true. But my answer is going to be one that people that know me would know. It's rhythm games.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Like Dance Mania, or are we talking more like...
Just in general, just the home console ones that require paying like $200 for the big fancy controllers.
Yeah, I can't see Guitar Hero back there.
It's deep in the corner behind my bed.
I actually walked past...
I got a Rock Band drum kit right in my hand.
Okay, we don't need to see it. It's all good.
No, you have to.
I walked past a Guitar Hero, like just on the side of the road, and it was complete. The game, everything there, and I just walked past it to see him. No, not going to. What about you, Tim?
I'm sort of a little bit like rhythm, but this the karaoke games. Yeah, I love a good karaoke game.
Have you got Lips on Xbox 360?
Nah, I haven't got Lips, but I've got...
That's a good series, actually.
I think I've got about 15
Sin Stars.
different Sin Stars there. And the reason why I like it is because, you know, I've taken to work a few times. Like, whenever whenever Eurovision's on, I bring that around and everyone dresses up and sings. And it's just a fun game. It's an absolute pisser. So I'd like to see singing games coming back, especially for the new title, new songs that have come out nowadays. So yeah, not that, you know, not everything should be auto-tuned. Right.
Is Gangster Paradise in any of those Sing Stars?
No.
Is Amish Paradise in any of those Sing Stars?
Yeah, the real one, the real version.
There are rap songs in them. there are rap songs.
They're actually the hardest to keep up.
Well, what I figured out, it's not actually singing. You don't actually need to sing. It's only rhythm. So what the microphone is trying to pick up all the pops and cues that you say into the mic, and it picks up that rhythm. So it's all of a timing thing.
So you just sit there doing these ones.
If you wanted to get a high score,
that was Rhythm Game Hacking by Tim.
I'll do what I do to get all the high scores in Rock Band. Just buy all the death metal songs.
So on Lips, she's in yellow. She said hello. What was that? Bust a Move. That's right. That was actually one of the hardest in amongst the whole thing to keep up and score well with. And that mic, it's downstairs. But the mic, there was two mics, one yellow, one white, one black, and they light up as you are doing well. So when you start to reach the peak and it starts flashing and glowing, your mic starts flashing yellow. It actually changes colors, and according to what's happening with the game. And I was just thinking, why isn't this more popular? This microphone, the technology in this mic is so good. And it actually had a rhythm thing in the mic, a sensor, a gyro. So you can tap it like a tambourine at certain parts and score more points. Way better than anything that what PlayStation put out. And yet no one talks about it. There was only 4 games, I believe, that came out for that microphone. Such like typical Xbox. It was just such a waste of hardware. Such a waste.
Here's a side question.
Okay.
So Bust a Move. He played bass.
Oh, I don't know who was on first, who's on second. I got no idea.
No, it'll blow your mind. It was Flea.
No, what?
It's Flea. That's it's actually Flea, and that was his because Red Hot Chili Peppers they were around before that.
Obviously.
Were around before that, and Flea actually did the bass line for that song.
Nice.
Well, he was just bored.
Blow your mind.
But my answer to this, getting away from rhythm and singing games, would be beat 'em ups. I like good old side-scrolling beat 'em ups.
Oh, yes, the old double
especially when you're playing it with a friend. I had Sebastian here on the channel, and we were playing Final Fight on the Mega CD, and it just reminded me of how good that genre is. That just going around fighting over who picks up what weapon. No, that's mine. Why did you grab the chicken? I need the energy. Yeah, and you're fighting. Yeah, I miss all that. And
that's a genre that definitely does need a comeback, because I've played some of the more recent ones like Double Dragon 4 and Coffee Crisis. I just couldn't get into them. They just felt too phoned in. Just like they're just trying to copy the old things without trying to improve on it. But the good thing I can say about Coffee Crisis, though, is you do get to beat up Metal Jesus Rocks and Alpha Omega Sin.
Yeah.
Which one's that? Oh right.
Coffee
okay.
Crisis.
Yeah.
There's another one, 99 Vistas or something like that.
I haven't played it. I heard that one's good.
They sent me the code, and the code didn't work. They sent me sent me 4 codes for reviewing on the channel, and unfortunately, none of them work. And I tried changing my region on my Switch. I changed it from America, Europe, Japan. None of it worked. I don't understand why. I would have done that for the channel, but anyway.
Yeah, that's a shame.
But definitely the side-scrolling beat-em-up genre is for me. We're getting a Streets of Rage 4, so I can't wait to see what that's going to turn out like. And for me,
good.
For me, one of my best memories of the working at Sega in the Mega Drive era was coming home after a shift with a red hot item in my bag, and that was a beta version of Streets of Rage 2.
Yeah.
And as I'm on the train, when I was on the way to work back the day after, a couple of school kids were going through an EGM and bragging about how good Streets of Rage 2 was going to be. And I couldn't help myself. I got up and I pulled out from my bag the ROM. I said, mate, it is every bit as awesome as what that magazine's saying it's going to be. What the hell's that? Because it wasn't a cartridge, it was the ROM board. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was only one level. The opening level, that's all we needed. That was just like, yep, I'm sold. This game's going to be rock. and that soundtrack was just ridiculously good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Top Loader. We got a very good answer out of that one, I think. Next, our old mate Cameron Holmes. Cam, take it away.
Hello, everybody, on the Since Spacies Show, episode 7. Today, I've got a question where it involves the use of Blue Arm Sonic. In recent years, such as in the animated series Sonic Boom and the games, and also in the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog feature movie, he's going to have blue arms. And he had blue arms before in the Sonic Boom series. So, now that it's becoming quite more of a regular occurrence, I thought the other day, back when we had Sega World, when I was small, Sonic would have been designed in 2 different forms, with brown arms or with blue arms. And I was wondering, did Australia invent Blue Arm Sonic, or did we have something to do with pioneering Blue Arm Sonic? Is Blue Arm Sonic canon because us Australians were the first to use them? This was back in 1997, 98, and I don't recall any other use of Blue Arm Sonic until Sega World first opened. Subscribe to Entertainment Corp.
Thanks there, Cameron. That's a bit of an interesting question. So just to recap, Sega World in Australia went for something slightly different with the Sonic design. The design was the same, but if you have a look, come on, camera focus. There we go. He's got blue arms. It's the same Sonic. Everything else is the same, but for whatever reason, they decided, let's just make his arm blue. Yeah. And that's not what Sonic's meant to look like, apparently.
You're right.
So I actually did a tweet the other day, and I love upsetting the Sonic fan base because it's not hard. It's not hard. It was a vote. Is Sonic skinned with yellow? Is that just his skin? And is the blue arms fur? And so my question was: is Sonic just shaved by default? and it was the most popular response was that yes, he is shaved. So by default, he is blue armed. That was the winning response.
Okay, well,
he shaves. Sonic shaves.
He's like those swimmers at the Olympics that shave their heads bald and get faster.
Because you got to go fast.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get my head around because I've never noticed this ever, and I've got my Sonic the Hedgehog cartridge, and he's got clear arms there. I just never even noticed that after all these years. It's
I find it fascinating because it's a major issue on the internet with Sega Sonic fans that if they see anything other than the tan arm line, they will freak. And
wait a minute, does this mean that he shaves his belly as well?
That's a good question. I don't know.
And he doesn't even have a navel.
I don't. He's never been blue, or so. I think that is his natural state. Right? God, I can't believe we're talking about this.
God.
But I do think if you want to make it make sense that by default, if Sonic lets himself go, he's blue armed, and the Sonic Boom series did the blue arms.
Okay.
Well, a lot of people call him Hipster Sonic because of the scarf, and another trait of hipsters is the beard. So he grew his arms sort of like beard.
Now, this thing, while I've got it out, is quite interesting because I can't get him to talk.
Pull this frog leg stand. Now lose me again.
All right, you get the gist.
Right.
But apparently, there's a sensor in the chili dog, and it looks vulgar, really. And there's another sensor in his hand, but I can't because I've never got the two to actually do anything. So I don't know what the story is with that. And I won't take it out of the box. It's just going to stay like that for all eternity. And I've got two. There's another one which is a smaller version of this, exactly the same.
I like when you're showing that toy head on. It looks like he's trying to get a big wedgie out of his butt.
What? Hang on.
Oh yeah, it does.
Oh I got cramps.
Hemorrhoids.
Oh, that chili dog! Wow. I won't
chafing.
go. I won't go to Harry DeWheels anymore.
Okay.
It was. I think that Cam is on the same thing. That this was the first time that Sonic had blue arms. And I don't really know if they did that if it was a mistake. They just didn't care. It's not. I don't understand. Like you got all this artwork to go off. Like if you look at the Sonic on the toaster, that was one of the first Sonic pictures with him ready to go. It's very clear what colour his arms are meant to be. So it's not like I think that was a design choice.
Maybe blue ink was just cheaper to print.
Well, the picture behind you has Sonic with clear arms. Well, with white arms. The picture, on the TV. Yeah, so there.
Yeah, I don't know. He shaves. Let's just leave it at that.
Weird.
All right, so thanks, Cameron, for weirding us out for the episode.
Yeah, it was extraordinary.
Actually, hang on. Even the bootleg has the same colour.
Oh, needle mouse.
I don't know. It was just something I wanted. I think I won that at Gold Coast Dream World. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Because that's a classy place.
Next question. We have got MrTune. MrTune, please take it away.
What's up, invaders? MrTune here for another question. And the question is, what was that game that you saw footage of, a screenshot, and went to yourself, this might be my game. And that game totally blew your expectation. Mine was Yakuza 0 on PS4. What was yours?
All right, MrTune, another interesting... I love the questions, guys. Please don't forget, you can send me anytime. You don't have to wait for the episode to come up. Please send me your videos that make them a minute long, landscape, and be creative. But yeah, some great questions coming in, and this one is a good one too. I'm going to start with this one. The build-up. This is probably one of the biggest build-ups for any games that I can recall ever. And when it came out, it did not disappoint. And that was Final Fantasy VII. Just seeing the screenshots just was enough to make me go. I'm not even a Final Fantasy VII Final Fantasy fan at that time, and I was just like, I can't wait for this game. This looks way off the charts. The whole thing of having video then goes straight into the action. That was not really something that was done commonly before. Abe's Odyssey was the only other game that I can think of that did that, where you get the video going straight in, and then you're live. You don't have to wait for the screen to go black and then go to the gameplay. So that's my one is Final Fantasy VII. What about you guys, Tim?
Well, when you first had me on your first time you had me on the cast, it was Elite. So pictures were there, and I mean, I saw the pictures in CMVG all those years ago, and I thought, oh well, you saw the still shots, but you got to remember you could never see any animation back then. So when you saw the actual game, it blew your mind even further, because here's these, polygon graphics moving around and all that, and there's, space pirates and action going on. It just that's what exceeded it. I couldn't believe it could actually be done.
Just to explain that a little more, it had wireframe polygon.
Wireframe.
Wireframe graphics.
Wireframe graphics. Nothing was solid.
Yeah.
Not that all you kids have the luxury of nowadays, but and being done on a machine like that back in the day. This is, Commodore 64 or a BBC. It was just amazing. From a still image that you'd see in a magazine to something moving around in all sorts of angles and being able to play in a game like that. That was just unbelievable. Yeah. So, that's my game. Elite.
Sam?
I got two answers. One based on a television trailer, and the other one based on screenshots from Nintendo Magazine System. The first trailer one is Banjo Kazooie. Saw a television ad for that back during Hey Hey It's Saturday. Me and my dad.
But that keeps coming up, doesn't it?
Like around 98. Me and my dad saw it and we're like, oh, we gotta get that game.
Yeah.
And I played it. I was absolutely mind blown. It was better than I thought.
What exactly was it about Banjo that blew you away?
The levels and the moves and just the general designs of everything. I thought it looked like a very full, vibrant world, and I played and was like, this is better than that.
To put it into context, what was big at the time for you in that era? What other games were you playing at that time?
Mainly Nintendo 64 and Game Boy games.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you have Mario 64 before you got Banjo?
Yes.
And out of the two, which one blew you away more?
Oh, that's a good question.
I know.
I want to say Super Mario 64 because of that jump from Super Nintendo to 3D.
Yeah.
Like that was just a big blow. Well, actually, that's the second game that blew me away for graphics. The first game was Destruction Derby on the PlayStation.
Sorry, Destruction Derby on PlayStation. God, I love that game.
Yeah.
It keeps coming up. It's like a sleeper hit. It doesn't get... People don't do total videos dedicated to Destruction Derby. It's one game though that I remember wanting to play over and over again on the PlayStation. Basically, I just like to smash shit up. It's and the big round bowl level where everyone's just trying to smash everyone up. I think the thing that makes that game so unique at that time was that most racing games were on a very limited access. Like you could only go left or right, and you're going straight, and that was it. But this one, because it was in a big round open oval, you get to decide what car you're going to target next. You don't know if you're going to get hit from which angle. Every game basically was different and unique. And I think that's what, and just the physics of seeing the cars actually smash up.
Yeah.
And the over-the-top sound effects and voiceover. Your radiator's blown.
And when you I used to call it ankle tapping. When you hit the back of the car and they get into a 360, and you see that 360. Such a great game.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I've said this on the show before, but when me and my dad first played it back in '96, we rented it from a video store. We looked at the game like, oh man, graphics can't get any better than this.
I had one of those moments where I said, oh, it's never going to get better than this. And that was the commentating when I actually said that they will never do real live commentating in a video game. That was something that I said because I just thought it was not possible. And then they released Joe Montana Sports Talk Football. And it was kind of okay. He's at the 20. He's got daylight. It was very stiff. It was good for the time, but I thought it doesn't sound fluid. And then NHL 98 came out. I was just like, okay, I'll give up. This hats off. This is such a good effort. The commentating in that game was awesome.
And my second game that impressed me, which I mentioned nearly mentioned like 5 minutes ago. This is based on screenshots from an issue of Nintendo Magazine System, and this wasn't really screenshots, this was character designs. I looked at the character designs like, oh man, this game's going to be good, and that game was Pokemon.
The first one?
Yes.
Oh wow, okay.
Saw designs, saw the Pikachu, saw the Spearow, all the lazy, the ones that are lazy by comparison, like Seal and Dugong. I looked at those like, oh man, this game's going to be good. What's it like? I played it and it's like, I was like, oh, it's so deep, for a child, you've never played RPG.
I bypassed all that because I was playing Phantasy Star on the Master System, and that was I was just hungering for another game that was very similar to that. And then I saw Pokemon coming out, and there was going to be an RPG, but it just, for me at the time, I was a bit older. I just felt it was too babyish to be dealing with. And
yeah, I can see that. It's definitely more of a time thing, ages.
And I'm sure Tim, because you would have had the same or similar approach to that game at the time. You never got into Pokemon yourself at the time, did you?
No. Well, I put up a post yesterday. I have never played Pokemon. Never.
I've played it. Yeah. But
I've never played.
Not at the initial time because. Yes, we get it. Thank you, Pikachu.
But no, I've never played it, and that's why I said I've got this Pokemon Red complete. Complete. Yeah. But there's a small problem. It won't turn on. I don't know what's wrong with it.
Battery backup.
That's what I'm thinking.
Get it soldered. It won't be too hard to do.
But I've never played Pokemon, and I'm not really into RPGs. I should maybe one day when I get a decent bloody console and get into Final Fantasy, but it might be too little too late for me.
That'd be a good video. Free RPG games to get you started on RPGs. I reckon, yeah.
Yes.
Definitely my stepping stone, because that led me to Final Fantasy, and that led me to SRPGs like Shining Force, and oh boy. Yeah.
I think free RPGs to get you started. Phantasy Star 4 would be one of them. Although it is a little bit complex with the whole macro system that they've got going in that game. It's designed to make it easier for you, but it can be a little bit overwhelming. Final Fantasy 7, I think, is a good one to start off with. I don't know what there's probably a whole heap of people screaming out a name of a game now at me, but yeah. I don't know. I don't think Pokemon is a good game to start off as for an RPG, although there's a whole generation that disagrees with me on that. I don't know if it's suitable for us though. Do you have a Switch, Tim?
No.
Well, if you had a Switch, I would say when the new Pokemon comes out, that's probably going to be a good entry point.
Because I know what's going to happen. I'll go out and buy a Switch, and then there'll be a new one coming out, and then it'll be what a waste of bloody money that was. So,
not really. I think the Switch. We had this discussion actually. The Ministry of Retro Gaming, and we were talking about the next gen consoles. That was one of my last videos I did, and there's not much that's going to be acting as a carrot, so to speak, to make us want to give up a Switch that we got now for a new Switch. Better battery life is probably going to come. They're going to make it cheaper, which means they're going to degrade something. They're going to pull back on some of the...
Well, that's it.
I think that the initial rollout Switches, I don't see what's the problem with them. And Ben from Grumpy Retro Gamers, he said that he was never going to expect them to release another Switch. That's not something I agree with. I knew that they were going to do something, but it is. Yeah. They still haven't announced anything yet, so I think it's safe to buy a Switch. Is my advice.
But Murphy's Law with me says it will happen. I'll go out tomorrow, buy one, and then look what's up
the
on
Switch Mega. Interesting question there, MrTune. Thank you very much for that. So the next one comes from Brian Thomas. Brian, please take it away.
Hello again, here as always. Now the question is for this new podcast is games that you got recommended to you by friends, family, or even some people you follow on Twitter. Here's two I got here. One that I got obviously from you, Aussie Brian. That's a nod because you called me another Brian. And this one I got because I watched a video from my followers named Jam Review. Nice fella, definitely knows what he's talking about. Whenever I ain't trying to tell you his opinion's wrong sometimes. Kind of have to do with you. Now, what are your games that you got recommended that you either loved or you hated? It could be one or the other. I want to hear more of the good because the bad, it's just bad, period. As anyway, thanks, and I can't wait to hear your answers.
All right, thanks for that, Brian. That's a tough question for me because I don't really like. If someone recommended a game and then I hated it, I wouldn't have probably got it to begin with. So it's probably going to end up being loved, something that we loved. Can you guys think of anything on the top of your head?
Well, I can because unfortunately, being as old as I am, there was a time when there was no YouTube or player reviews or anything like that.
And I'm going to talk to you about that. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So I had a mate. His name was Griff, and he told me, and it's not a game. It's not a game. It's actually a console that he recommended, or a computer. And he said, "Oh, you should go out and get yourself a TRS-80." So from freaking Radio Shack or Tandy. Oh my god! And I've said this in a few podcasts before. I've had a few regrets in purchasing in gaming. That was the worst decision ever, because I didn't have the money to buy a Commodore 64. So this guy tells me to get a TRS-80. It was a piece of shit. It
Is
really
it Tandy?
was.
Tandy?
It was Tandy.
Did it come with a brick square joystick and it was just a stick, a little
Yeah,
tiny...
it was a stick, and it was
and
on
one
like
button,
one button, and a tape deck, which I swear to God, all you had to do was change the label on it and say it was an actual tape cassette, not a data cassette. That's all it was. And there were no games, and the games were so basic, it was just a terrible unit. So I blame Griff for wasting my money back all those years ago. Yeah.
Sam?
It's hard to think of because I've never really watched YouTubers or never really thought about this topic much. But come to think of it, games recommended that I ever liked or hated is not really from YouTubers. I watch more from old television shows like X-Play and Game Pro TV.
You've got an interesting life. Okay, keep going.
They were reviewing a game on X-Play called Tokobot. It's a platformer about these little robots that help you along, and they pretty much, shat on the game. Well, they shat on every game pretty much that wasn't American. And I play as this gets this, and I'm like, I'm gonna play as $10 at Game Traders, and for the PSP. I've still got my original copy somewhere. Don't worry, I'm not gonna run out and get it.
Thank you.
I played it and I was like, it's actually half bad. It's actually quite good. It's a as I described, it's just a platform where you help the robot. It was a long time ago that I played it, which I could really replay it. And another game that I've recommended recently was Windjammers. I played it.
You hate it. I saw you tweet this. Yes.
I'm the only one in the world that does not like Windjammers. It's a frisbee game. It's this is quite boring.
It's like Pong on steroids.
But that's also probably because I played another game similar to it that came around the same time, released by Konami, I believe. But instead of frisbees, it's hockey. It's Pong with hockey. It's called Punk Shot, I believe.
Okay.
It's sort of like a futuristic hockey game, one-on-one. You have to try to shoot the puck into the goal, and you got a ninja, some other characters, and they also do.
It's terrible.
And yes,
sounds so terrible. I want to see it.
It's not terrible. It's actually really fun, and you get special moves to launch them into the other goal. I describe it badly, but it's actually really fun.
Okay. Don't ever review another game.
So, my answer for this one, I first thought I had no answer for this, but as you guys were talking about it, I got reminded that, my brother actually gave me a Vita game, and it was called Trails of Cold Steel. And I thought, he's heaping a bloody RPG on me. I bet you this is going to suck. I loved it. I absolutely loved this game. And I'm trying to track down a copy of the sequel, but it ends on such a cliffhanger. One of the few games I've actually gone to the effort of completing. I don't finish many games just because I just don't have much time. But this was one game I actually did go through to the effort of completing. And if anyone's got a Vita or PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4
or PC,
it's actually on Steam as well. Yes, you're right.
Yes.
So it's worth getting. Trails of Cold Steel might not be for everyone's taste, but I certainly liked it. The only downside is it can be a bit text heavy, I don't see that as a downside though. I actually I read the script and I actually.
You can read?
Yeah.
Wow.
Some people though, they sit there going, pressing the button next. I read it. I don't know. It's like I don't skip cutscenes. I love cutscenes, but so many people love cutting them. I don't understand. But that's just me. So that's my answer. But yeah. Sorry, getting back to my notes there. Yes. So thanks for that, Brian. Awesome question. And the next one is. So this question was meant for the last podcast, but because he asked 2 questions, I'm moving it to this one. Right. Yeah, he cheated. But Dr. Nerd, please take it away.
My question for you guys this month is, there's been so many fantastic weapons in games, whether it's real-life weapons like MP5s, M16s or whatever, or fantastic, futuristic, imaginary weapons in other games. There's been so many great ones. I want to know, not which is your favourite, but what do you think could be the ultimate weapon if you were to combine the best bits from all sorts of different games? Perhaps take the huge round count from one gun and the power of another. What do you think you could assemble from different games to make the ultimate game weapon?
Thanks for that, Dr. Nerd. Favourite weapon or most iconic weapon? I'll leave it with you. Okay. Sam is itching. He's itching. And you better not use Saints Row as an example. He was gonna. And was it Saints Row or was it Grand Theft Auto? Do we say it?
Well, we can. I'll just use.
Was it the 12-inch? 12 inches. That's all you need to know.
It's called the penetrator. That's all you need to know.
Do you know what we're talking about, Tim?
No. But you seem happy about it.
Let me describe it in G-rated terms.
Okay.
There's these guys walking around with a big giant balloon animal, whacking people with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's something you would buy at a sex shop, and you can use it as a weapon.
Oh God! All right.
Now you follow?
Yeah.
And
unfortunately,
there was a similar weapon in Grand Theft Auto 4. And I bought the hint guide, and when you go to the hint guide, normally they're full descriptive of every weapon, but this one it just says you'll find out. That's all it says. You'll find out, and it has and it has a silhouette only. It doesn't actually show it.
Okay. This man. I've got 2 favourite weapons.
Go for it.
The first one on Raiden, the arcade shoot 'em up, Raiden.
Oh right.
Yep. And I know there's like 3 or 4 different weapons you get, but there's one that's like a beam laser that sort of just warps around the screen.
That's so lazy.
Just looks cool.
Yeah, no, it's just so lazy. You're just holding down the fire button.
And but it's destructive. I freaking love that. But I think the best weapon is Scorpion Spear out of Mortal Kombat, and just throwing it out, and it looks violent, and you can get somebody from a long distance, and just with the words "get over here." And,
do you remember going up to the mascot? We used to go up to mascot during our lunch breaks.
Yes.
And there was a Mortal Kombat machine there, and and we used to all the Sega staff were just taking on each other. We always had at least 4 or 5. $1 coins just rattling around in our pockets at the time, and they were good times.
they were good, yeah. I don't think it wasn't a dedicated cabinet, was it?
It was.
I think it was.
It was. It was just Mortal Kombat, nothing else on it.
No. What I mean by that was it's not the original cabinet it came in. It was. It
was just some.
Yeah.
Fighters Club thing or some damn random generic.
They just got a standard.
So we didn't get to play it on the proper classic Mortal Kombat cabinet. Yeah. But you know what? We didn't give a shit. We didn't get it.
No, we loved it. Yeah. I'm trying to think who was best at it at the time.
I think
Tim. I think Tim was pretty
I wasn't
good.
that great. I just kept picking Raiden. He's a yodeler. Did you have another one? Sorry.
Yes, I did.
No, Tim.
No, well, they're the 2. So So
right.
So the raiding game with the beam laser
And Scorpion. Okay.
and Scorpion spear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sam?
This is going to be a weird one, but
Oh, geez, there's a surprise.
it's stuck with me through my entire
You've
life.
already come up with one weird one. What are you going to do to top that?
This is a Double Dragon weapon, actually. This is the whips
Oh.
from Double
Oh
Dragon.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I like that.
Alright.
I thought you would have picked the baseball bat though. I prefer the
Oh
baseball
no, it's
bat.
much more satisfying using the whips.
Okay.
All right.
okay.
We won't go there. We'll just leave it at that.
There are some fantasies.
Yes,
that are being shown.
another answer you can purchase from your local sex shop.
There's a lot going on in his world. I think the Master Halo, the sword, is such an iconic weapon. And when you're playing multiplayer in that and you hear someone fire it up, you're like, oh crap.
I got a question. Does this count as an iconic weapon?
No, well, no, it's not a weapon. It contains. No,
It's a
it's not a weapon. It's a capsule. It's not a weapon. But nice try.
Okay.
I got to dismiss it. Here we go.
Oh, key. Okay.
From Disney. Come on, you don't know this one?
No,
Yeah, it's
I don't.
Kingdom Hearts.
Hey?
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts. The key
Okay.
is actually the sword, and
Oh, is it?
yeah.
Okay.
So that's a classic one.
I've actually got a Cloud Sword somewhere in my garage, a replica of that.
How big is your garage? Because that thing is huge.
It is huge.
Is that big wide blade?
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
Yes.
The
Okay, that's
Buster.
what it's called.
No, it's called the Buster.
Okay.
Buster Blade.
So,
I'm surprised we haven't mentioned the BFG yet from Doom.
oh, yes, the BFG. I wonder what it stands for. Okay,
hang on, I gotta put this away again. Hang on, that just hangs up there permanently in my room. There we go. I'm not even a big Kingdom Hearts fan. I just loved that. When I saw that, it was like $60. I was just like, yep, I'm in.
Okay.
But yeah, thanks for that, Dr. Nerd.
Good question.
It was a great question, that one. Yes. Next one we got George. George has got an interesting one for us. George, please take it away.
Hello, I'm George, and this is Finn. Our favourite Pokemon are Pikachu and Weasel. What's yours? Also, Finn is a big fan of reptiles, so what's your favourite reptile? Oh.
Yeah, thanks for that, George. We just sort of touched on Pokemon earlier. I don't know. Sam, you seem to be the biggest Pokey head here. Let's start with you.
It's the Octillery, the octopus one.
Okay.
It's red. It's. I just find it adorable.
Which one? Sorry, I missed it. Sorry.
Octillery. He's a red octopus Pokemon.
Okay. What about another one? Just another.
Oh, Meow! Only because I've had Siamese cats before and I found Meowth extra adorable after that, because Meowth's based on a Siamese cat and one of those, lucky coin cats.
So, I would have figured you'd be after the what's that mime one called? Yeah, that new Pikachu movie. I can't wait to see that scene.
Honestly.
Hey.
I find the Pokemon a bit creepy, honestly.
Yeah, they are kind of. Yeah. Tim, do you have a favourite?
Don't even bloody play it. So,
yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to have to go with the generic Pikachu. That's about it. I don't know.
Jeez, you put a lot of effort in that response.
Yeah, I know. I thought really long and deep about it. But I do have a Pikachu here.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
What happened to him? He's let himself go.
Yeah, he's got big. It's turned into more like.
That's awesome.
Give us another burger.
It's awesome because of how bad he looks.
But no, it is official.
Look at his face. Look at the face. It's just like, kill me, kill me.
Like that before, he's Fungus.
Yeah,
It's a big one. Yeah, he's a big one.
He's a big one, but it is official. It is an official.
Okay.
Sorry,
So I was in the Pokemon store in Osaka. That's right. I was trying to figure out where it was, and I had to get this guy, Mimikyu. Is such a cool character, and the story behind it is so cool that he adores Pikachu so much. He's a ghost, and he adores Pikachu so much that he had tried to mimic Pikachu, hence the name Mimikyu. It's kind of deep though, because it's kind of a bit trippy, the character. He can take on the look of anyone he wants, but he chooses Pikachu. I think
it's not very convincing.
I think that's his actual eyes there. And this part here is just I don't know. I really don't know too much about it, but I wouldn't be at all surprised if this bottom half is actually the character, and this part here is just for show.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
And in the show, if you actually see what's under the blanket, you die instantly. They actually acknowledge that.
That's so for a kids' cartoon. That's so full on.
Yeah, but the gag they've done is they do it with Meowth, who always revives because, cats have 9 lives. That's the joke with him.
They turned it into a joke. They turned death into a joke. That's wow.
Just for flashing up a Pokemon merch.
That's sick.
Vinyl record, baby.
Legit.
Yes.
Yeah, there's nothing dodgy about that whatsoever.
Not at all.
Yeah, sorry, George, we're not really big into the Pokemon here. Well, some of us are a little bit, but so Sam, what are you working on?
Well, I'm working on the next episode of Kaisercade. I'm working on live streams, and hopefully when my mail finally turns up, I'll be able to do my first ever unboxing of the certain product. That's right. I'm gonna unbox some booster boxes of Pokemon cards.
Oh right, okay.
That sounds weird.
Is that like loot boxing?
No.
It is. It's just physical for loot crate unboxing, but physical. Yes. Yeah, and anyone that hasn't watched Retrokaiser's channel, he does a show, and it's a proper show with reviews, with let's plays and looks. It's you spend a lot of time editing that, I can tell.
Mm-hmm.
So do go and watch that, and I think you'll end up subscribing once you see just one episode.
Make sure to follow me on Twitch at Emerald Rangers. I do some streams now. I stream on Sundays and Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. Check it out.
Check.
Okay. Check it out. Tim, what have you got coming up? You don't have a YouTube channel yet.
No.
Yet.
No, and
yet.
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't have to be like. You can just do it casual. Like that hasn't stopped Top Loader. He does a video once a year.
No, I really don't know. Jeez. I mean, I might do a Twitch. I might do YouTube, or I'm just happy to do the odd podcast with other people in the future.
I'm pushing for you to do a channel. The reason being is that I've noticed that you haven't had any experience with doing any of this before. Like with me, I've never done any in front of camera work at all. My first video was cringeworthy. But you've had the benefit or the advantage that you've done at least some streams, which I'd never done before doing the YouTube channel. And I think that maybe, I don't know, once a month you could do a rap or something. I think wrap up, not rap. A wrap up.
I was in the crib sitting by the fireplace.
Yeah. That's... How's it go?
Waka 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 waka.
No. Damn, I wanted that to be a GIF.
Mixmaster Tim.
He does it as soon as I move off the camera. Great. All right. Anyway. So no. I think that's a charm. But yeah, I think that you got the potential to do a channel, and I'm thinking that you add the word ex Sega stuff, remember, and people are going to get intrigued. I think that there's some potential there for a channel.
I don't know how. What I've said this in a few posts before. So, like every time I get 100 followers, I thank them all for following me and pick out one particular person. But what sort of blew my mind was how quickly I got to 1,000. As I said, it took 106 days, and I don't know. Okay, maybe because I'm an ex-Sega staffer, I don't know what exactly it is that makes people want to follow me, and I'm very thankful for that. So going that next step is something, I'm always going to be doubtful about something that I'm really not sure about. Okay, and I thank you for your encouragements, Brizza, there, that I should do something. So don't get me wrong. I've been looking at cameras. I've been looking at audio equipment. I've been looking at lighting. I've been looking at the budget there. But
you don't need the flash. You don't need the flash technology. I didn't even have lighting when I started.
Yeah. I know. But I'm just looking because, like, if I want to do something, I want to do it right and I want to do it well. I'm very particular in that way. So. Okay. Yeah, I'm very, very particular about these things. So, I don't know. And then, as I said before, then what the hell am I going to talk about? Because
there's no shortage of that. Trust me.
Yeah. So, anyway, I'll see what I do. So, look, if you're just happy with what I'm doing, spread the word and. I'm more than happy to.
And just to answer your question, Anna, what you could talk about, I'm staring at 100 games. That's 100 episodes right there, right behind you. Yeah. Every one of those video games you got there can be a 10-minute video. Like, seriously, you got your work cut out for you.
I know I do. But once again, I need that equipment to do it all. And
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll quickly bring this to a wrap because we've been doing this for quite some time now. Thanks for watching, everyone. And as for my channel, I'm tired of promising stuff that I don't do. So I will be doing those Sonic Spinball. That's the next video. In the Sega Mega Drive Ultimate Collection. That series has been going for 2 years now. It's about time I brought it to an end. So the next video in that series will be the Sonic Spinball playthrough, and also I'm trying to get 1983 done. The video on 1983. There's a lot involved, so it will come. It will happen. Anyway, my name's been Brian, and I've been gaming since Spacies. Thanks, guys.
See ya. Bye.
Since Spacies.
Sound effects.
What the?